A funny thing happened last week that really got me thinking. I was standing in my kitchen, right by the window, where the afternoon sun comes in. I was holding a jar of pickles. Just a regular jar, nothing special. But no matter how I tried, no matter how hard I twisted with all my might, it wouldn't budge. Not even a little. I tried running it under hot water. I tried tapping the lid on the counter. I even tried using one of those rubber grips. Nothing. And as I stood there, staring at this stubborn jar, a feeling washed over me. It was a quiet, sinking feeling of frustration. And I realized something. It wasn't about the pickle jar. Not really. It was the moment I had to admit to myself, I'm getting weaker. It's a hard truth. A truth that I think many of us try to ignore for months, maybe even years. It creeps up on you so slowly you barely notice it at first. Maybe for you, it wasn't a pickle jar. Maybe it was the last time you went to the grocery store. Do you remember the days when carrying all the grocery bags in one trip felt like a small victory? Lately, just one heavy bag has started to feel like a real chore. Or maybe it was seeing your grandchild, their face lighting up as they run towards you with their arms outstretched, waiting for you to lift them high in the air. And for just a split second, you hesitated. You worried if your back could take it, if your arms were strong enough. That quiet hesitation. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the garden you've loved for years, the joy of turning the soil and planting new seeds. But now, the thought of kneeling for an hour, the ache in your back that follows, it makes you think twice. Or it's something as simple as a staircase. You see a tall flight of stairs without a handrail, and a little flicker of anxiety goes through your mind. Will my knees hold up today? These little things, they start to add up, don't they? They're like tiny whispers every day, reminding you that you're not as strong as you used to be. And each whisper chips away at your confidence. It plants a seed of doubt, a quiet, nagging worry about the future. And let's be honest with each other. The real fear isn't just about getting older. It's about what that means for our lives. It's the fear of losing our independence. It's the quiet terror of one day having to ask for help with the simplest things. The fear of becoming a burden to our children, who we love so dearly. The fear of losing the dignity that comes from being able to take care of yourself. That is the deepest fear. It's a silent struggle that so many of us face alone. But today, I want to share a story with you. It's my story. It's the story of how I started to fight back against that weakness. Not with some expensive miracle pill from a late-night infomercial. Not with some crazy, exhausting workout program that leaves you aching for days. No, it started with something much simpler. Something that's been around for thousands of years. A forgotten secret from nature that might already be sitting in your kitchen pantry right now. And I believe it can help you find your forgotten strength, too. After that whole episode with the pickle jar, I'll admit, I was feeling pretty down. It's a humbling experience, isn't it? To be defeated by an inanimate object. I happened to be talking to an old friend of mine later that week. She's one of those people who just radiates vitality. She has a garden that's the envy of the neighborhood, and a spirit that just won't quit. I told her my story, feeling a little embarrassed. She just listened patiently, and then she smiled, this warm, knowing smile. She said to me, "Our bodies don't need magic. They just need the right building blocks to repair themselves." Then she went into her pantry and came back with a small cloth bag filled with these tiny, unassuming seeds. She poured some into my hand. "This," she said, "is the gold of the Incas." It was quinoa. Now, I had heard of quinoa. I'd seen it in the health food aisle. It always seemed like one of those trendy foods for young people. I never thought it was for me. But the way my friend talked about it, it wasn't like she was selling me something. She was sharing a piece of wisdom. She told me that for centuries, ancient warriors in the Andes Mountains would eat this seed before going into battle. They believed it gave them strength and stamina. She didn't use any fancy scientific terms. She just said, "Think of your muscles like a brick wall. As we get older, Some of the bricks get loose and crumble. To fix that wall, you need all the right kinds of bricks, not just one or two types. That image really stuck with me. A brick wall. She explained that most plant foods are like having only a few types of bricks. You can patch the wall, but it's never as strong. But quinoa, she said, is different. Miraculously, it has all the different kinds of bricks you need, all in one place. That's what the experts mean when they call it a complete protein. It contains all 9 of the essential amino acids that our bodies can't make on their own. These are the fundamental building blocks for muscle repair and growth. Just 1 cooked cup of quinoa, about 185 grams, provides a solid 8 grams of high-quality protein. It's like giving your body the perfect toolkit to start rebuilding that wall, 1 brick at a time. It's the complete blueprint for helping your muscles stay strong. But it doesn't stop there. She told me it's not just about rebuilding, it's also about fuel. You see, many of the foods we eat for energy, like white bread or sugary snacks, are like throwing paper on a fire. You get a big burst of flame, a rush of energy, and then a crash. You're left feeling more tired than before. But the energy from quinoa is different. It's like a solid oak log in the fireplace. It doesn't flare up wildly. It just burns slow, steady, and warm, giving you consistent, reliable energy throughout the day. That's because it has a low glycemic index, only about 53. This means it helps keep your blood sugar stable, avoiding those energy spikes and crashes that can leave you feeling drained. It supports your energy, so you have the strength to actually use your muscles. And as if that wasn't enough, she told me about one more thing. She called quinoa a friend to your whole body. In that same single cup, you get over 5 grams of fiber. That's more than most other grains. This fiber is wonderful for keeping our digestive system running smoothly, which can be a real concern as we get older. And studies from trusted sources like the American Heart Association have shown that a diet rich in fiber can also support our heart health. So here I was, holding this little bag of seeds, and suddenly it didn't seem so trendy or foreign anymore. It felt wise. Honestly, I was still a bit skeptical at first. How could one little seed make such a difference? But I trusted my friend, and I was tired of feeling weak. So I decided to try. I didn't do anything drastic. I just started small. I learned the one simple trick to making it taste great. The secret is just to rinse it well under running water before you cook it. This removes a natural coating called saponin, which can have a slightly bitter taste. It's so easy. Then, for every 1 part of quinoa, you just add 2 parts of water. Bring it to a boil, then turn the heat down, cover it, and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. That's it. Perfect, fluffy quinoa every time. I started by just adding a few spoonfuls to my lunchtime salad. Then I tried swapping out my white rice for quinoa at dinner one night. I even tried making a warm breakfast porridge with it, cooked with milk, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and some sliced bananas. It was delicious. And then something quietly began to change. It wasn't a sudden, dramatic transformation. It was slow, almost unnoticeable at first. After about 2 weeks, I realized that the familiar ache in my lower back after an afternoon of gardening wasn't as bad. Then I noticed I could walk that extra loop around the park without feeling winded. The little things. And then came the moment of truth. One morning, about a month into my little experiment, I took a new jar of jam from the cupboard. It was sealed tight. I braced myself, preparing for the usual struggle. I gave it a firm twist, and pop. The lid opened, just like that. I stood there for a moment in stunned silence, just looking at the open jar in my hand. And I smiled. A real, genuine smile. It wasn't about the jam. It was about that little pop. It was the sound of strength returning, the sound of me taking back a little piece of my independence. And it all started with a simple, forgotten seed. This journey isn't about trying to turn back the clock. We can't be 30 again, and that's okay. This is about something far more important. It's about living the years we have with vitality, with dignity, with joy. It's about being able to get down on the floor and play with your grandchildren without worrying about how you'll get back up. It's about being able to carry your own suitcase on that trip you've been dreaming of. It's about being able to walk through your garden, feeling the sun on your skin, and knowing that your body can support your passions. It's about living each day with energy and independence, with the grace and strength that we all deserve. And that is a beautiful thing. I've come to believe that regaining our strength after 60 isn't a fight against aging. You can't fight time. Instead, it's about gently partnering with our bodies. It's about rediscovering the simple, powerful, and honest foods that nature has always provided to help us live a life full of vitality and independence. And starting this journey is as simple as your next meal. In fact, in my very next video, I'll share the 3 most delicious ways I personally prepare quinoa for breakfast to ensure I feel energized all day long. If you'd like to see that, you can click the video that's on your screen now. But before you go, I want to ask you something. I truly believe we all have a forgotten strength inside us, waiting to be rediscovered. I would be so moved to hear your story. What is one simple joy or activity you would love to reclaim if you felt just a little bit stronger? Please share it in the comments below. Reading your stories would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for listening to mine today. Remember to take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or health regimen.